Come and get started on a new mission, a new direction, a new intention. Welcome to 5.8G Alive at Connections 50 Plus. I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, catering to all your prospects in the third act of life.
Economic well-being, social gratification, personal fulfillment.
Join us on Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Connections 50 Plus Facebook page, YouTube channel,
and on Gael the Caribbean.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Connections 50 Plus 5.8G Alive. I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, one of the co-creators of Connections 50 Plus. And as usual with me this evening on the show is my colleague.
Hi, everyone. I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite, the other co-creator of Connections 50 Plus. Excuse the voice if it's sounding a little kind of shaky this afternoon. Something is trying to intervene, but I'm not allowing it. But we will soldier on.
You know, I was actually thinking I should have put a little more pep in my voice, you know? Yeah. So welcome again, and Terri-Ann. This week has been a bit hectic with us with all the planning because we're down to the wire.
We down to the wire. And things are in place. Things are moving well. We have everyone. People are arranging maxis.
Yes.
Coming, and everyone is saying, you know, it's such a great time to just come out and relax and de-stress. And one person even told me they don't think they're going anywhere else for Christmas. So I say, all right, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I am happy that they chose us.
Great.
Yeah.
And by the way, and we close off, Terri-Ann. So, yeah.
Well, we have a few, we could handle a few others, but we will see. But we essentially have gotten
and no tickets going to be sold at the door.
No.
You know, just know this.
No.
All tickets have to be in advance.
Mhm.
Okay.
Definitely.
So when next you all hear from us, we're going to be telling you all about it. You know what a great fun time we had at the brunch.
Yes, definitely. So, Jennifer, I have to say I had this week was interesting for me. I had my first official All Souls, where I went on a light candle, grave and all kind of things. So I do the whole 9 yards. I went light the candle, I put flowers and carry my father and my other mother to mass. So I do the whole All Souls. First time in my life.
Isn't that something? I've been doing that since as a child.
You always say what hasn't passed. I always looked at All Souls, and I always used to tell people, I thought it's strange that I really have not had anyone close enough to me passing to have to go to manage a grave and stuff. And look, in 1 year, I have the two people who were so close to me.
Yeah.
I have to go and tend to All Souls for them. But it just tells you what hasn't passed you and reach you. Just
yeah.
Get ready.
I grew up in that tradition, you know, visiting graves every year, so it will be our grandparents right through, you know. So that was this tradition, more countryside.
Yeah.
So that's what I knew. So I was introduced to that from a child and continue the tradition right through. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Terri-Ann, so what we're chatting on this evening, you know, I thought that we could not look at, but discuss, and I have it written about, it came to me about, you know, that we should do some discussion on soul searching or what is happening now. And that is because I tend to go, Terri-Ann, and you know, we both do it. We tend to look at topics that is current, what is affecting or impacting on our cohort. And this soul searching, I thought that we need to go within, because we seem, a lot of us, and I'm saying us, seem to be still like we're not sure what we're doing. You know, we're doing things, but yet still we keep saying that we're not there yet, but we don't know where we're supposed to be. So I think there's a bit of confusion. Confusion in the air. And when that soul searching came to me, I decided to look up the definition to see if I'm on the right track or not, you know? And this is what, you know, and I will read out because I'm quoting here. It's the process of figuring out your purpose, your motivation, and what may need you to change your life as it is now, you know, in order for a greater alignment. And this is what a greater alignment of our true self. And that is what caught me, Terri-Ann. The question is, are we aligned to our true selves? Are we really on that path, you know, finding our purpose at this stage? And I'm saying at this stage because sometimes you hear the comment, you see, at this stage, we don't need to do anything. We have done it all. And we just sit back, but you sit back, yet you get frustrated. So I just thought we should have this discussion on where we are now and how we can do this soul searching that I'm talking about.
Yeah. I agree with you. Even as we look at what we do, we talk about the 5.8G generation, and we are saying 3 platforms in tune, as we are in the middle of now, you know, know yourself, dollar savvy, make sure the finances are there, and then critically community. Community is not only the wider non-familial community, but also your partner, your children, your intimate community, your expanded community. And if you look at a lot of studies, they say that when those 3 areas are out of sync, we really could be rattled and shaken. And I am finding a lot of people, a lot of us, and I do not take myself out of this, when you ask them, how are you? You got a pause, and then you get like a thought and a decision. Are you okay? And you either get, are you okay? Like, who are you trying to convince, you or me? Or you get, well, girl, I'm struggling, or whatever. And it seems as though we are, many of us, in kind of limbo. And it is affecting how we proceed, because there are so many challenges and traumas affecting life. You know we should be in a better place. We know we want to be in a better place. We know we want to be happier, but somehow or the other, our souls don't know who can find the path, can't find the way. And I think this is worth exploring. It definitely is worth exploring.
You know, when we talk about soul searching, and the same thing with reflection, it is not my thing is, we're on a path, we're on a life path. And it is really important, as everything else, to stop and check ourselves, right? But you see, going into that quiet time, that kind of reflective stage is not easy, because we could be a bit scared as to what we can find or what will be unearthed. And so I like to use myself when I'm talking, because I know me, if I say so. And soul searching for me, or being reflective, is very important, because when you stop when things not going, especially when things not going the way I would like it to go, and I start feeling frustrated or anxious, I say, you know what? Let me stop, take some time out and check out, why am I feeling like this? Why am I annoyed? Why am I angry? And not happy about my present situation. So when to do this, I would sit back and check where I am at this stage. I look at the things I have achieved to bring me to this stage, and what is really worrying me, what is blocking me to move further. But sometimes, Terri-Ann, we don't even know what it is. Either we don't know, we don't want to know.
I think it's closer to that one.
Yeah.
Or we know and we just decide we're not bothering.
Yeah, if we really being truthful, and sometimes I get angry because I want something, I want to have something, and if that is a cost,
yeah,
I am annoyed, and I'm annoyed because it's a financial issue, and I don't want to deal with that because I feel I'm not getting anywhere dealing with that. You with me? And really and truly, the fact is, if we want to be honest, if we want to move forward, we should be honest. And we should, because it's painful. It is not it's not a nice feeling. So we tend to push it aside and move on to something else. But when we push it aside and move on to something else, it's still there festering in us. It will come up at some stage to affect our life in some way. I don't know if I'm making sense here. Yeah. So I want to, for our audience, those who listen, the first stage, I will say, in that soul searching is being honest with ourselves and check out where we are at this stage and what we feel missing in our lives that causing us to feel a little uncomfortable or uneasy or not happy. What do you think on that, Terri-Ann?
You asking some big questions. This I follow a podcast. It's called Hidden Brain. It's a psychological podcast. And it's surprising. We were talking about this topic earlier today. And when I was before we came on to do this recording, I was thinking, let me check and see what came up. And this topic came up. What can we learn from pain? And it was the host and a well-known psychologist. I do not want to corrupt the man's name. He is a Sri Lankan native, and there are too many consonants running together in his name for me to attempt. So I will cite the name of the podcast, Hidden Brain, on Apple Podcast. So they were talking about how much trauma we experience in our lives and how much loss we've experienced in our lives, especially post-COVID. And there is an increase in people feeling stuck, just stuck. And what the psychologist was pointing out is that when you listen to what the sayings that we have fed, our generation especially, we superhero people, 50 to 80, especially those in the 60s and 70s, what hurts you will make you strong. Work through the difficulties. We grew up in a culture that you were supposed to always be looking forward, and any trauma or trouble or disappointment, you're supposed to shake it, go forward, and you'll get stronger. And he was making the point that so many of our generation are saying that narrative. So when somebody asks you how you doing, I good. Because it is not acceptable. You'll be presenting yourself as a failure if you say, boy, things not working out, and or girl, things not working out. And what is happening to a lot of us is that what we are saying and what we are still fighting to keep up is very contrary to all of this suffering and loss that we've experienced in the last 5 years, especially as a result of COVID. And he had a theory that people are trapped in that place, and they are, we human beings, we are not making space for our fellow humans to express their disappointments, their hurts, the things that are, we kind of happy when I hear, Jennifer, your child lose their job. Or if I hear my neighbor son didn't do as well in university as they expected, because it kind of like, all right, I am not, somebody's doing worse than me. So, right, kind of, and this is causing us to become less compassionate. And because our cohort are who we are, and because we grew up with parents and in families where compassion reigned, because our parents truly lived cooperative lives. They helped one another. They worked in community. They did things together. You have a Hannah fig, that Hannah fig feed the whole street. You have a mango tree and stuff like that. So it is in us to be like that. But while we were climbing the ladder and being so successful, wherever our success was in the world of banking, sales, marketing, professions, even in raising these beautiful children that we've raised, we don't allow ourselves, as our parents did, to sit with the neighbor on the gallery and talk about the struggles and get advice from one another. Or, fathers will go to the corner, whether it's a rum shop or wherever, and talk. When we talk, we want to compete. And what they're saying is that what they call cognitive dissonance is really making us, it's giving a lie to the saying, what doesn't kill you will make you stronger. It won't make you stronger. It hardens you, and it makes you less sensitive and less compassionate. And I think what we are seeing in a lot of people now, as we talk to them, is a kind of, you're seeing that things not good, and you want to, because as you know, we are coaches, but they're so torn, they don't know how to say it's not too good, and I need some help. And we just have to we have to ask ourselves if we are allowing people who are near to us to be open about how they really are, so we can help in any way that we can.
Yes. Terri-Ann, from what you're saying, I see the difficulty for our age group to open up and we talk about this a lot, to be vulnerable. All right. And that pain you're talking about, for all these years, from the time we started to work right through. So you are looking
in school, Jennifer, because remember, we got secondary education. Yeah.
So you call us, as I say now, the baby boomers. So we were introduced to, they have this saying, you have to grit your teeth and you have to this, and those sayings. So yes, we grew up with all these sayings, and you have to learn how to do anything. You have to learn how not to speak out too much, because speaking out would have been something almost rude, depending on the age you're at. Speaking out, even at the office, if you have an opinion, you have to be careful, and you can only give that opinion when asked, etc., etc. So a lot of our emotions were kept within, you know. So not, by not expressing yourself, and you mentioned it, when you're in pain, you keep that pain. You're not examining the pain to see what really is the cause of it, to say, well, okay, if you find that root cause of that pain, then you would be able to get the solution, get the healing, come out of it. And I know pain, when they mention pain, may be in one context, but actually that pain you're talking about, and recently someone was telling me, a very good friend of mine who she was diagnosed with whatever illness there, but didn't talk about it at all. That she actually have been suffering for months. And we're talking real pain here, suffering, but not talking about it, not telling her friends or telling her family members until she couldn't hold it anymore, had to be rushed to the doctor, and that is when it was revealed. So even that type of pain, real pain, we don't even know how to discuss it. And although we may be aware that if we share what we're going through early, we may be a better chance of being helped. We have been taught over the years for so long to keep that pain in.
Yeah, Jennifer, there's another side of it.
That we don't know how to express ourselves.
Yeah, that's one side of it where you suppress it. But there's another, there is, we don't give our opinion because you might be judged. But then there's another group of bravado and bravada who go spouting off to give an impression. And you're really presenting a fake front. And one of the things they talked about, and I thought it interesting, how we respond to painful things. If a friend or relative gets a diagnosis of cancer, and they use this example, our first instinct is, you have to fight this. We're going to fight this. And it's this doctor and that doctor and this experiment and that. Let's fight it, let's fight it, let's fight it. And they made the point that that is not natural. That very often, if you have something that's going on in you, what you need to ask first is, what is this going to do to my life? Can I live with it? And what do I need to do to be able to continue with a sort of balanced life? And I'm thinking, if I have a diagnosis of cancer, what am I going to do? Run to this experimental drug, that one or the other, or sit back and say, what is this going to do to my life? And how can I manage this thing so that my life is reasonable? And what the psychologist was saying is that the people in our environment push us to be these superheroes. You know, it will work. You have to be strong. You have to do this and that. And we don't really want to be. We want to just take it down a notch or work through it in a systematic and compassionate way, which may look like you're being too passive, or it may look like you're not taking this seriously, or you're not ambitious enough, or you're lazy, or what is wrong with you? This is not how you should be. And a lot of people end up putting energy into fighting and things like that, and making themselves tired, angry, disappointed, worn out, because you're not being right with yourself. And you know what he was saying is that part of the fundamental values that and this is a theme again that we have touched on in the past couple of weeks. We are so focused on what they think and outside of impressions that we don't ever first come back to self, come back to heart, come back to your values and decide, how do I want to react to this? How do I want to respond in this situation? If my son has fallen down on his luck, why do I have to make up a story about it that seems acceptable to the other people if I know that my son needs to just take time out and chill? You know, if my father cannot manage at home on his own, I am honest, I can't take care of you. I don't care if somebody says she put her father in a home. He's doing much better there than, because I am true to me. And he came back again. We are causing so much trauma to ourselves by all this pretending. And we end up, even though we know what we're supposed to do and what we prefer to do, we end up making decisions that are totally contrary. And everything is just a mess afterwards. You know?
No, Terri-Ann, I agree with you on that aspect. I feel really and truly that our head has been messed up so much, if I may say it like that, that it is, and of course it varies with the individuals, but it messed up in different ways. Yeah. Of course, at that stage in the earlys, prior to the 50s, you wouldn't see it, you wouldn't recognize it because you were busy.
You need to be ambitious then. You needed to be like that.
you all these things are called for. You can't afford to shut down. You can't afford to focus on any type of pain, right? Your focus is only on the achieving, making things work, seeing about your family, etc., etc. And you don't even want to think, when you're thinking of the later stage, you're only thinking of whether you will have enough money to make it. Basically, if you're going to be two things, I want to be in good health and I want to be financially stable. You're not considering any other dynamics in that scenario. However, and then you're not counting down the years neither. So we tend to say when we reach the 50s or the 60s, so God, reached here already, And again, you're focusing now, when you reach there, you're focusing on all the things that it did not achieve. Right? So you didn't achieve whatever you didn't achieve, or your family life didn't go the way it's going. You tend to focus on all the things that did not work the way you wanted it.
Yes.
Right? And then we get flustered because we're focusing on that and we can't see the solution because it's only negatives. So we have to now declutter our minds and start on a new path, and it's a completely new path, unknown to us. We know what we want the future to look like, but somehow we're not seeing a clear path to it. And this is where we have to take that time out. And we could still do it now, what age you are. We could constantly take that time out and look at our lives, especially we tend to look at what wasn't done, the things that we were not done, as against of things that we can do. And recognize that, yes, we could make changes. Yes, we can do things to realign ourselves with how we want to be. But Terri-Ann, that comes with a lot of humility, all the things you said that we were taught to be strong and not let our emotions be known and not discuss our failures or what we saw as failures or don't complain, all these things. Now we want to say that you could now share your thoughts. You can now show emotion. You know, it is not, it's not easy. It's not an easy journey.
And listeners, you know, Jennifer and I kind of different, all right? Jennifer will put things in a way that makes it palatable. And I am saying, at this stage in life, post-COVID, because we are that generation that created all of this wonderfulness that everybody, we're the generation that created the internet, created technology, quality. We are the generation, we smarter than everybody. There was no generation smarter than our generation. No generation dealt with problems of world wars and peace and hunger and think AIDS come, they find a solution. Cancer is almost for some of them or something you could live with. Climate, water crisis. We did all of that. So I personally am not buying that now that we are at this stage in life and we are seeing that the road ahead has a bend in the road, there is a fork in the road. You could continue on the road that you're on, which has all kinds of stress, whether it is financial, personal, relationship, children, job, community, whatever it is. Or there is another part which is saying you need to come here because you are no longer in the place that you were to continue as you were before. And also, your body can't go there. You're tired, you're older, you can't move as fast, you can't think as fast. So you have to go down another road. But we know we can't continue on the road. We know we should not continue on the road. But we don't have a clue what is on the other road. We don't know because we never ventured down there. We never went to peep. We have an idea of people that we see who go down there and they're looking like they become nobody and they roll up and nobody looking for them. And age, therefore, is this thing where you become disposable and not vibrant.
Yeah.
So I think many of us make decisions. I know what this road is. I know if I continue down this road, I'm going to have personal misery, financial misery, children misery, housing misery, professional misery. Market is no longer for me. New people coming in and they're thinking different. I can't even be a consultant. They don't want to see me because I'm too old. There is no room for me. So we know that should be a no. And if we were back in our management days, we would have said definitely no. And we would have looked at that other road and say, let's go. We will figure out as we go. But because it is us making that high-risk decision, this thing called fear comes in. Fear of the unknown. So you're telling me I'm at a crossroads and I have to go down uncharted water or uncharted track. But Jennifer, for many of us, fear can do one of two things. And I gave the example of you in a burning building. Two people are there. They are both scared. One sits in a corner and sobs and gets burned to death. I don't mean to be graphic. But another one knows that a door is there and flames are there, and they take a dash through the flames to get through the door. They end up with third-degree burns, but they survive. Jennifer, many of us know the choice we have to make, and because of fear and the unwillingness to take the risk of the unknown, we continue down the road that we know is not good for us. And then we end up in a place where life is just, it gets worse and worse. And I think what we need to do is to, we come back to the point you made. You have to come back to you, take a look at yourself, and because our parents taught us this. What are the values? What do we value? And why are we so afraid to step off into something different, into something new? Why are we so afraid to be honest about, things are really falling apart for me personally, because I cannot continue to carry it. Not because it's falling apart, You have to hand over to let the children go ahead. Let life continue. You need to go on another path to allow yourself to be happy. But we are so afraid, or do I say coward, that we are not allowing our fear to make us dash through the flames to the open door. But we prefer to stoop in the corner and pray. Look for a miracle and hope that something happens. And we know it's not very possible for that to happen.
And Terri-Ann, as you use the example with the fire, I want to say in
I
that
hope people don't find
case,
it too graphic, but
no, but since it's a fact, I really believe there's that element of a big element of fear. Because, as I said, we were trained a certain way. We were introduced to life in a certain way. We had fun, eh? Many of us, we had fun. We happy. So, no, and we weren't think we were going great. And we expected to continue as we got older, still being happy and going along. And then, bam, we realized this stage is not the same. But you use that fire example with being in a burning building. But what I want to piggyback on that to say is that what we should look at now when we reach this stage is like a drill. I say in soul searching, but let's use that fire example that, listen, you need to do a drill. They drill you prior to say, okay, if in a building, these are the things you should do. But those who don't know the drill, they may go on instinct and based on their personalities. To some people might be a little more scared than others, etc. But if we all do that drill for the stage in life, and we understand in certain situations, we need to take caution. We need to do certain things and be aware, because in that drill, if you know you're not as quick on your feet or certain situations, then you would know, you would start and they tell you that you look at exit points. Okay? So in this case, in the case of life, when you're doing that soul searching, to me, the soul searching is like doing a drill. Understand? First phase reality. Hey, this is where we are. This is the what point you call it when they send you to everybody know where that point is.
The master point. The master point.
The master point. All right.
The master point.
So the master point. So your master point is really where you are in life. This is where we are. This is our whole situation. So we're moving off from the master point, but we have to face that reality of life. We had it great. We had a great time. Everything going good. But you know what? Let's manage our expectations now. Especially the realistic thing is COVID come and go and made a big difference to us.
And
some of us affect us.
And our families.
Yeah, right. So we take it from there. And then we do that soul searching to understand now, if we hear, maybe some of us really weaker, we don't have the energy to do certain things. We thought At this stage, we would have been able, as you say, run a business. Or if we're not running the business, at least the children doing great. So we could sit back. They will send us on the vacation, right? They would renovate, do certain things, and these children can't help as before. So when we look at our situation and we start, I like to write, I like to journal. To me, when I see things there, but modern times, those who want to use computer, whatever, but you journal. And when journaling, that's my part. I look at, as I go along, say, oh God, I didn't achieve this. I can't do this again. Yes, I thought I could do that, but listen, the cost of things now, I have to take a longer time. So the drill is really, as I said, the first thing is that soul searching is where you're checking yourself. This is where you are, and this is what you would like to have. And Terri-Ann, when you list that, then you have to be realistic and start to scratch off that list or alter your list, thing I want. I always say, okay, if I have this new car, a new car will take me 60, say you can't do it 60, okay, 65 to 75, 10 years. You should get a good use of that car because I don't want so and so. And then it hits you, listen, your money went to something else and you have to face reality. Can I buy that new car? No. But for some people, that new car will help with your status. Remember all your years before you work hard, you was able to change your car. You're looking good and you want to maintain that status quo. So some cases people hold on to it or go ahead and change that car, although they know it putting them in a tight spot. But if you make, and you spoke about decision making, if you make that decision, then no. The pain we're talking about would come in some other form. All right? And it could be you cannot go on that vacation again, or you can't help your family do something. We need to be realistic because, Terri-Ann, it could be very scary when you made promises, and I'm not even saying promises to family member, promises to yourself. And you say, see, at this stage, I can tell you, I do things I say in 10 years. And so when I reach 70, I'm going to be like, oh, all debts pay off. No debts. I could do what I want. I could And as I say, before you know it, I hit the 70. Some things I achieved. Some things, many things I didn't. But that doesn't mean, Terri-Ann, I don't have it in front of me still. But the other aspect, we should look how we manage our disappointments and how we remove that shame and guilt. And shame and guilt really take a toll on us. It take a toll on us.
And that, I would say, we have to first take responsibility, because you said something just now, and I think a big part of our stress and our trauma, and we don't know how to articulate this at all. So we just sitting down in a quagmire and we talking to the world and all kind of different flowers and roses like this. And you see this thing about your children, and we have expectations of what our children will do for us in our senior years. Continue the life. We assuming our children will continue to provide us with the life that we provided them.
Oh, yes.
But there are two scenarios. We know the children, we spoil them rotten, and they don't have the wherewithal to financially do that. They cannot do it. They cannot provide us with the life that we had, because they're still dependent on us to provide them with the life that we enjoyed. The extreme side of that, the other side of that is, we had the 4 children, and half of the work and the hard work, everybody went to university. Everybody had to get professions or trades or skills, and everybody set up their household, and everybody have their own 3 children or 2 children, and everybody in the peak of life, and they're going. If we want our children to take responsibility from us, which one of them do we expect to put their life on pause to take over our kid? When nothing that we have done in all their upbringing set them up with that expectation. Long time you had the aunt or the cousin who would stay and take care of mom and take care of pa. And then the family contribute to make sure that person, could have done whatever it is. But all our children gone away. I say we export them. They're gone. They have jobs. Even if they're here, they're thriving in professions, and they have children who are now heading to university and stuff like that. And then we get to the point where we are the fork in the road, and we can't afford to continue carrying ourselves there. We have to go down the road. And we looking at them and saying, but you all have to take care of me. Did we raise children who define taking care of you as writing a check or stopping my life to ensure that yours is comfortable? And a lot of us cast judgment on the children, and we say, oh gosh, so much children they had, and none of them turning around to look at mom, look at, oh gosh, and so much they do for them. But did we prepare them for that? That is such an unreasonable expectation. It is so unreasonable. But a lot of us, that's what we're doing. And we want to pound the children. And which one of them? The doctor going to stop? The engineer going to stop? If they stop to take care of you or bring you and all of your issues into their homes, how will that upset the apple cart? Because they're not raising their children how you raise them. They're not. How are you going to fit in? What are you going to do? So we are sitting with these regrets, these thoughts and confusion in our minds, and we don't know where to express them, where to put them, where to sort it out. What do we do? Oh God, we can't go in a home. How are we growing up in a home? How do we look? You have no clue what the homes in Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean are like. You look at the US and you see, oh gosh, they treat all people nice, and you don't realize that the cost of those homes could be over $1 million US each a year. You don't have the ability. So how do you start a conversation with your friends to say, we are 60 or we are 70. In 10 years' time, where will we be? What is the housing situation going to be? Can we think of getting together or adjusting the house? Or what are we going to do? What are we going to do? How can we? We're so afraid to raise that conversation. But you can't start that talk when you turn 70 or 80.
Yeah, but Terri-Ann, the thing is, recently, and we both attended the symposium. It was on aging and being in a home. Was an international talk, and we had our own Dr. Rouse on the panel. What we need to do now, again, we can access information now, right? Yes, if people say, oh, I don't go on this computer. I am not talking about, I'm talking simple. You get a link, you go on and you listen to what is happening. Especially from that program, you're able to really learn so much because they are more advanced in terms of the systems in place. So we could listen in and know how we could adjust our lives accordingly, because it is happening. It is happening in front of us. At my age, when I look at somebody age 80 and how they live, I could learn a lot from that. I could learn a lot from their situation, and we can't put on blinkers
But
and say
we don't
it's
have on
not going
blinkers,
to
Jennifer. We
happen
have
to
on
us,
full blinders.
right? It's not
Full
going to happen
blinders,
to
not
us. So
blinkers.
what I found happening, Terri-Ann, and as I said, I know it is not an easy thing. It's painful, some of the decisions and, realization. When sometime in conversation and you may hear someone say, oh, good, I'm not going in a home. Oh, gosh, you see me? I'm not going to live with my children because so and so and so. And I am saying that, did they really sit down and look at your situation? Because the decision making, if it is you have son, daughter, whoever, and they can adjust your home accordingly. And you hear a lot, especially overseas, where you have, I don't know if they say father-in-law, they always have a mother-in-law
But
apartment or something. It is happening here. Why not? So the decision could be you may even have to sell your home, and it could be both you and your spouse or your partner. Sell your home and move in. And when we say move in, you help your children outfit, things like that, their home, if they invite you to come, and it may be the better solution. Because yes, we have to look at safety and all that, and it could be very scary if you want to hold on to your property that you had so many years and you paid so much for. We have to, I think a lot of us, and you say what it is, not we have on blindfold, that we don't want to listen, you don't want to hear. Sometimes you may say there is a program, and don't ask for that. We're not paying to attend any forum that telling us about aging or steps that we should take. Because as far as we're concerned, we don't want to hear that. Someone say we're not ready like that. I was told of a story just recently. This lady, she's what, 80, 83 or something like that. Her husband died a few years ago. But he was ill, so she had the room outfitted with a special bed, etc. And she put up these things for sale. She's 83, eh? So the special bed, all the different things that she had, put it up for sale. And when she was told, why are you doing that? You keep it. You can never tell. She said, nah, I have a long way to go again. I may as well sell it. You understand that type of thinking? And it's real. There's a reality. This is not some hearsay. It's actually happening because my friend was looking for a special bed for father, and somebody referred and all that. So that's what I'm talking about. Even with 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, we still feel it is not our time yet to make certain decisions. And then we get frustrated because, listen to me, we don't know when only time that we could be diagnosed with anything, or not even that. We could fall down and we can't move. We could, yeah.
Yes.
So the complaints about the family situation, they complain about the money situation, they complain about we still have our skills and we should be able, this is it, we should be able to do better because we came out of corporate and we highly qualified with great skills.
We created pivots. You're going to...
Right. So we feel we don't want to look at doing other type of job that maybe in those days, as you say, look down on it. You want to still hold on, but sometimes you have to face reality. Like I remember when at some stage when my daughter said, "Mommy, let me tell you something. I mean, young people, I want to listen to you, And I was really hurt, and I was pained because I swear I had all the information that could help them. make better their lives, is that we used to say. And she said, they just look at you, you old, you had your time, move on.
I'll
It
tell
was
you,
a reality check.
on that note, for everybody out there who see it to use, bundle all your wisdom and go help the young people. The first thing you better make sure is that you have a TikTok account and an IG account. Because if you're not on TikTok and IG, they don't need to hear from you. So no matter.
They're not reading, it is amazing. And I think too,
It is just
Terri-Ann, we're not keeping with the time. We don't know. We're just talking, and we're talking to someone who just like us and saying, yes, we could do X, Y, and Z. I had my granddaughter, 7. They gave a project. And she said she's doing a research it. And I said, I'm going to research it. And I gone with my fast self to tell her, well, put the name of whatever in the browser. That's done already. And she watching me like, but I did it already. And I'm like, you understand? At 7. We're going to try and do what? So we need to do a reality check. Yes, we felt we were great in those days doing that. But maybe we can do something else and share information, because Terri-Ann is in sharing the information and trusting our colleagues or persons who may be in the field or try that before. If we don't do that, we will just be living in a dream world and frustrating ourselves, because the decision we're making at the end of the day, we put out our little money to make sure it works, and it's not going to work.
Yeah. I think, we have just about 5 minutes again, Jennifer, and I can't agree with you more. At the end of the day, many of us are walking around with heavy, 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 heavy burdens because we know that where we are now in life is really not sustainable for us. It's not sustainable. Some of us are in the fortunate position that we're okay with where we are. But many of us know that we can't continue. We can't repeat 2023 for 3 more years. It can't repeat. If we have 2023 going for the next 3 years, we might make it. If that is the case, then we're at that turning point. And one of the things that was said again in my podcast is that a lot of us focus on what's going on in the environment, and we are paralyzed by the environment. So if it ain't if it ain't climate change, if it ain't this, if it ain't that, and we worry about things that coming through general news, but that really not directly impacting us as yet. And the advice that they gave is the environment is what it is. The only thing we really control is how we react to our environment and our situations. And if our reactions are not guided by our values and our own intelligence and wisdom about what we know is good for us, then whatever our outcome is, we've done it to ourselves, be it good or bad. And that is the plain honest truth.
Yeah, I just endorse that and add, we do some soul searching with all that you have said. We take the quiet time. Be truthful. Oh, wow. Be truthful. Don't feel shame about where we are. You did great. We did great. We did great. We didn't expect a lot of things to happen that threw off. You saved and you did well, but something happened and it threw you off. Look at life differently now and just say, well, you know what? I'm at a crossroads, but listen to me. You see that path? I created a really pleasant path for myself. Nothing to be angry about as I go along, complaining. That's all.
Take your time and walk down the straight road. You know how to deal with unknowns.
Yes.
Look at us. Who would say we will end up on Zoom and all these kinds of things?
Listen to me with all you talk. I face my pain, I face my pain. And one is the fire are going through and are getting out. You know what I mean? Because the reality is we have to take action. If we
And
don't
not sitting down
take
and dying with
action,
smoke inhalation. I think that's a horrible way to go. Dying with smoke
Yeah.
inhalation. I'm gonna deal with the 3rd-degree burns afterwards.
so, do your drill and take action. Yeah.
Definitely. Stay in tune.
And next week you'll hear all about our Christmas brunch.
Yes, Jennifer. So now we have brunches coming up and we are going to be fine. So if you have about two or three tickets left, a few of you all could probably call us if you want to and see if you can get in, but it's more or less fully subscribed. And we having fun. We having fun. So until next week, Jen. Bye.
Okay, bye.
50 Plus Tribe and follow us from Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean.
Thank you for joining us on this Connections 50 Plus 5.8G Alive show.
We hope you enjoyed the lively conversation and look forward to seeing you next week.
Don't forget to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We really love getting your feedback. Bye for now.